Okay, this is a video for the top 4 Summit Fi earphones of 2021. I purchased about 16 or 17 sets, according to my calculations, that were $2,000 and above. And out of all of those, these 4 are ones that are going to stay in my stable because I like them. Are they worth the money? That's a personal decision. I'm keeping these. I'm satisfied. Full disclosure, the Elysian X was purchased by me. The Bird was purchased by me. The Indigo and the Monarch were sent to me. So there's 2 that I purchased and 2 that were sent. So this is some balance right there. Doesn't really affect either way. Lots of expensive stuff gets sent to me. As if you pay attention, I don't even give them videos. Let's go ahead and start with the first one, the Elysian Acoustic X, a single dynamic 4BA 4EST. The Elysian X is my personal all-around favorite of 2021. Bass. The bass on the X is close to perfect. No mid-bass tuck. Just a very nice glide that gives near peerless audiophile replay to 4 or 5 string bass guitar, drum kits, male vocals. The tuning is excellent. The little pull-in that they do in the mid-bass, that happened in 2020, that just doesn't fit my library very well, especially for 4-string bass guitars. This set doesn't do that. That's why it would be the set that I would pick if I had to pick one. The mids are clean. The prior bass line and the way that it's done is given a proper foundation of vocals and all that is anchored there. The upper mids border on being vocal forward, but the tuning strays away from that just barely. So if you look at that graph below, it looks great on target. It's to the ear, it's right on the edge, but that gives it the live intensity. Doesn't give fatigue, but that's right on the edge for me. But I guess that's what being great is, not over the line, but right to it, and this set does that. The treble has great extension beyond 10 kilohertz. However, notable is the quad key EST arrangement may not need to actually be as elevated based off other 4 EST set replay that I have in my collection. Cymbals are lively and energetic. This set is the most flexible as it will play all of my library without compromise. There's nothing I'm really giving up with this. I can get a good bass line. I can get a good kick drum. Male, female vocals are treated well. There's proper extension. I don't know that I need that extension at 15, 16 and beyond, but it's there and it doesn't impede the replay at all. It comes with a beautiful cable. I'm not a cable person, but it is quite beautiful, and it's a very beautiful set. It's quite expensive. I purchased it. I feel satisfied with my purchase, and I'll be keeping it. It does very well with everything in my library, and again would be the one that I would keep. The next is the ThiA Audio Monarch Mark I. This is the most affordable of the list. It's $1,000. There's not a lot that will touch this for $1,000. You can notice you can see the mid-bass tuck in the graph below. The Monarch MKII is the best set you can buy at $1,000. Bass. The bass on the MKII is mid-bass tucked like the original version, but a few dB has been added to mid-bass based on consumer feedback. It now gives better replay of 4 or 5-string bass guitar. Less of a difference on kick drums, which are still slightly held back, and male vocals are improved in the replay of MKII versus the original Monarch. It's a little teeny bit dry, but it's good, and it's not analytical like the original OG. It's a set that you can enjoy. It's very good. The mids are flat and quality of detail is quite good. This is where the MKII hits its strong point. Tight bass has left a clean field for all the instruments and vocals that exist there, all of my library. Micro details and overall accuracy are top-notch and best of its class. Even though this is a third or a quarter of the price of some of the things I have in my possession, on sheer resolution and detail, this is a very impressive set. It might have something to do with the way that they blend the DD with the BAs in the mid frequencies. I'm not really sure, but the micro detail, if you're into that, Easter eggs and finger slides and taps and pulls and pedal pushes on pianos and all of that kind of stuff is available to you with this set, and it's $1,000. It looks beautiful. It's got the switchable terminations on the cable. It's got no weak point except that tuck. It does what the tuck does, but it doesn't do it like the OG, and for $1,000 I would wreck this all day long. The kick drum is where this would be a little bit when the levy breaks, to be specific. It's still not giving me the energy that I want, but I'm a Led Zeppelin dude. If that's not your thing, then you wouldn't need to worry about it. And there's a lot of other people that have this in their collection now, and you can go ahead and listen to their reviews. That tuck is the only thing that is audible to me, and the rest of it is absolutely fantastic. Next set, This is the Traillii, I believe it's called. I just call it the Bird, as do most people. It's an 8-ballon armature 4 EST set. It became famous because it didn't get graphed for a very long time, and there was a lot of people that were kind of hunting it down because this company doesn't send out demo samples. But that was kind of a good thing, and I was part of the clan that was trying to hunt it down and get it on graph, and I think I was the first one that did. I paid pretty much full price for it to do that, and kind of fell in love with this set. Let's talk about it. The bass is BA bass, only set in this list that has that, and tuning is the most polite on this list. 4 5-string bass guitars do fine, as do kick drums. However, hip-hop parts of my library do not get ideal replay, so this set is for my large classic rock library. This is where that really shines. You can think, well, the BA bass and the kick drums on the Monarch, you say, are slightly neutered. Well, it's the tuning, it's the profile, it's the lack of mid-bass being slightly de-emphasized where it makes this actually sound better on a kick drum than the Monarch MKII, though it's got rolled sub-bass, and it's BA. It's a very fragile area, the mid-bass. The mids on the Bird are crazy. The naturalness that the mids and upper mids give guitars and vocals are top of class. The cut in the upper mids hushes potential fatiguing overtones, but does not take away from the high fidelity. In fact, it adds to the set being the absolute best at vocals. All acoustic, vocal-centric stuff, a large part of my library, the third album by Led Zeppelin, just all kinds of stuff that I have. The way that this handles that is the closest to not having gear in my ear. It's an amazing... You pay this much money for something and you think you rationalize it. I pay lots and then just sell it and eat for the loss, and it's part of the game. I don't mind it. I could get back this on the secondary market for probably $4,000 and eat some money and not have a problem with it. But I'm not going to, because it just is unique in its ability to play back vocals, and it's got something to do with the cut, because that's where the harmonic area and the overtones for vocals exist, and the way it plays vocals and acoustic and electric guitars is just really unique, and I don't think anything does it quite as good. The treble is treating cymbals with near perfect replay, and the tuning lends itself to being a sofa set, meaning long-term listen. The set cost me a lot, and I'm totally fine with that. Kind of the real measure of personal value, I suppose. Again, I paid a lot of money for this, and I'm not selling it, though I could, because why? Is something worth the money? Are you happy with it? There you go. Last one, Unique Melody Indigo. This is the MEST configuration plus 2 ESTs. So it's a 1 dynamic driver, 4 balanced armature, 1 dual-sided bone conduction system, I believe that's called, and a 4 EST instead of 2. The ultimate MEST, the best of the rest of the MEST. Bruh. Bass. The bass, like all sets in this video, aside from Traillii, handle all genre in my library. Bass guitar, drums, and male vocals are perfectly handled. Hip-hop and R&B do fine. The bass line's great. There's no problem there. Mids. The mids are unique in that the upper mid tuning of all the MEST are atypical. This is not usually how you tune the gain region. However, they give plenty of energy to vocals, which the graph does not imply. The vocals can seem almost forward. Neil Young, Jim Croce. All instruments in my library are handled naturally with no odd emphasis or other. There's nothing out there that's sticking out with the mids. It plays well. You notice the graph below, and you'll see where the 1, 1.5, and 2K region are, and you think that will diminish the replay of the vocals or pull it back in a way. This is where the Evo by Empire Ears stumbled by introducing a bone conduction unit and elevating the bass and the treble as well. It's difficult to discern what exactly that driver is doing. With something like the Indigo, however, and looking at a graph and how it reflects and how other sets that might be BA or dynamic with that type of plateau and that type of a gain region, you're familiar with how that would treat vocals, which is not ideal. This set, however, like other MEST, gives it an energy that's almost too much. The treble of the Indigo has added 2 extra EST relative to the original MEST series. The quality of the harmonics is superior to the other MEST, as one would hope, because of the price increase in the 2 ESTs. This set also presents the largest sense of space and air of all of the sets, despite having less amplitude than the X beyond 10 kilohertz. So the Elysian Acoustic X, let me go and pull this down a little here. This set right here, this one has more energy on the scale. Let's go ahead and take a look at the X. There it is right there. And we'll take a look at the okay, ghetto edit. The graph, this is the Unique Melody Mest Indigo. This is the one that has 4 ESTs. It doesn't quite have the energy that the Elysian Acoustic X displays, which obviously looks like it has a lot more energy from about 12 kilohertz and beyond. However, to the ear and listening to my library, it sounds like the Mest is giving a little bit more sense of energy. Both of these sets having 4 ASTs in that range. Don't know that you need it amplified to this extent. Again, however, the X would be the set that I would pick if I had to pick one. So it's not a ding on the set. I don't know that you actually need that type of amplitude or amplification in that area with the ESTs. The Thea Audio Monarch MKII is the set that actually most adheres to my personal target, except for in the mid-bass range it's got the most. It's the sub-bass versus the mid-bass and the difference between them that gives it sometimes for kick drums and bass guitars and male vocals slightly a little bit different from the other sets that are on this list. And then finally would be the most unique, which would be the Traillii, because it's got the roll in the bass, which is something that I'm not a fan of. Obviously, you look at my library and you listen to previous videos. And then it's got this cut in the upper mid treble region. However, using this to listen to parts of my library that have a lot of vocals, like the Blind Faith album, like Fleetwood Mac, like Led Zeppelin 3 in particular, like Dire Straits, like Elton John, American Beauty by Grateful Dead, Heart, Dreamboat Annie, a lot of stuff that exists in my library, which is a lot of guitars and a lot of vocals. The Traillii is very, very, very good. So these are 4 sets: the Indigo, the Traillii, Bird, the Monarch, and the Acoustic X, out of the many expensive sets that I bought in 2021 that I will be keeping, have kept, and will be keeping. And if you have a lot of money and you want to enjoy the hobby in the way that you see fit, and spending money as part of that enjoyment, these are 4 sets that I think you should probably consider. And with that money hoovering gesture, I'm out. Merry Christmas, everybody.